It may be time for popular commentary YouTuber Turkey Tom to seriously consider getting away from Destiny before it destroys the hard work Tom's put into his career and ruin any friendship he has. Why, you may ask? Well, let's get into it. Those of you familiar with the commentary community will probably know names like Turkey Tom. You may even know Destiny. What many people don't know, though, is that they are pretty close friends, and Turkey Tom shows up on Destiny stream quite often. Now, Turkey Tom is also friends with a lot of conservative people who also have YouTube channels, such as, for example, Donut Operator. Now, for Tom, everything's been pretty hunky-dory between the two groups, considering their political divides. However, given the recent assassination attempt on Trump, I guess needless to say, there's been some friction between both sides of Tom's friends. And that has left Tom in a pretty precarious position between his friendships. Who does he choose? Who's right? I don't envy his position, to be honest. If anybody's ever been in the middle between two friends fighting, you know it can get quite awkward. Now, to Tom's credit, he has stayed pretty neutral throughout this whole thing. He hasn't really sided with one side over the other, and I gotta imagine it's gotta be very difficult for him to be put in that position in the first place. And while I haven't really got a chance to see his interactions with Donut Operator, I do get to see his interactions in real time with Destiny, since, you know, Destiny's a streamer and Tom likes to call into Destiny's show, which is the topic of our video today, where we're gonna be going over Tom talking with Destiny about the ongoing situation and where Tom kind of tries to plead his case with Destiny. But Destiny has kind of been on this heel arc where he's kind of like, well, they do it, you know, and that's what his justification for the whole Trump thing was. Well, you know, I can make fun of them because conservatives made fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband for what happened to him. And to be honest, none of us should be condoning violence in any way, right? We're all human beings. Just because we have slight different beliefs in things and the way that things should work doesn't mean that we should be okay with wishing harm on one another. And if you don't believe me and you want to see proof of how Destiny has kind of developed this whole mindset, check out his appearance here on Piers Morgan.
But Destiny, you say you don't want anybody killed, and yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it. It's people celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump. If you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable as the people you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
No, because they've led the way. This is the environment that they've created.
So you think behaving like the people you think are despicable is the correct course of action?
Not about behaving like the people who are despicable would be leading that type of rhetoric. It would be denying every single bad thing. How many times as a liberal? How many times as a liberal have you been on a show? Not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence, and blah blah blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it. January 6th, that was a false flag. Yeah. January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
We have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Get the dude, the firefighter guy, Trump, the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was president of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destiny. I'm sorry. That makes you, frankly, despicable.
I guess it's safe to say that the heat is on Destiny right now. He is not the most favorite creator on the internet at the moment, considering when you tell half of the country that you wish that they were get shot or that you don't feel bad if they'd get shot, considering the man covered his wife and kids to protect them and that's what led to his death, is not really a good look. Regardless of the edgelordness on the internet or how hard you try to be an edgelord, it's really hard to kind of defend that perspective on things, and that's left Turkey Tom in a really odd situation. But anyway, the main video that we want to get to on this is that finally Turkey Tom decided to confront Destiny about the conflict between him and Donut Operator. If you're unfamiliar with the situation, essentially Turkey Tom organized a gun shooting event with Donut Operator, a couple of his other favorite influencers, and Destiny came along to help shoot bullets. I guess shoot guns, shoot bullets. What's wrong with me, man? And Donut Operator released a tweet where he said, it was nice of you to come and take advantage of our hospitality, and something about the girl that Destiny brought with him was more interested in them, which according to Destiny, it wasn't really what happened. But according to Turkey Tom, everybody got along pretty well on this trip. It wasn't until the Trump thing happened and Destiny started making his edgelord remarks about how he has no compassion for any conservative that takes a bullet. going off on his edgelord rant about how he had zero compassion for anything that happens to conservatives because they kind of brought this on themselves, which I completely disagree with. I don't think anything anybody says should lead to any type of violence, let alone death. And that's why Donut Operator, I guess, eventually decided to go after Destiny online and tell him what he really thought about him. But you'll see all this in the video. I just kind of wanted to give you a Cliff Notes version of what happened beforehand so that you know what's going on when we go through this video.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So allow us to join Destiny's stream, where Turkey Tom then enters the stream, thus beginning our conversation at hand.
To empower the union. Wait, who joined? Oh, shit, what's up? Oh, I got like 2 minutes because I got to read this and then I'm going downstairs. Oh, you asked me about the... Wait, real quick, just a question. Did you come with us for the shooting thing?
Yeah, I was the reason it happened, yes.
Oh, were you with us during like the meals and everything too?
Yes.
Oh, do you remember how those went?
They went well. But
yeah?
Before we get to that, I want to talk about calling them Pedro Herrera and Pedro Operator. Why did you do that, Destiny?
All right, so we're 5 seconds in. You got our first piece of interesting conversation. Just for the sake of not demonetizing this, I'm going to refer to them as File Operator and File Herrera. And he's referring to Donut Operator and Brendan Herrera, who are friends of Turkey Tom. And we're on the trip that is in question. So right away, you can see Turkey Tom's coming right out of the gate swinging, being like, dude, what are you doing? You'll hear Turkey Tom mention a video that he made where he kind of broke down the whole situation about the trip that they took and how everybody on the trip was very cordial and civil. So if you're wondering what that video is, that's what he was basically talking about. I'll link the video in the description so that if you want more context of Turkey Tom's firsthand experience on the trip, you can go click that. Although I will admit they do kind of talk about a lot of what Turkey Tom talks about in the video, in this video. So, you know, it's up to you whether or not you want to get that full context.
Well, no, I was just curious how you thought all of it went. You thought it went pretty well, right?
Yes, and I saw the interactions after. I talked about this in the video. There was no animosity at the time.
Oh, and like my girl wasn't running off and was way more interested in them or what other weird like operator and the other guy.
Okay, why are you calling them?
I don't know, or never mind, I do know. I don't appreciate it when spineless hack cuck cum swallowing fucks like this, okay, that jerk off to kitty porn. I don't appreciate it when they try to
Why are you saying they
rewrite.
jerk off to kitty porn?
I don't like it when they rewrite history or interactions with me because they lack the spine to say, I don't agree with what this guy says, but he's a decent guy in real life, okay? So if we're just in a world where we're just gonna make shit up and say whatever the fuck we want about a guy, oh, well then, you know, I'm just gonna talk about the time I was eating breakfast with him and I saw operator pull out his phone and, you know, spank one out right there in the restaurant next to us.
This isn't okay. This is not the same thing.
Destiny's saying, well, they made up this story about how I acted on this trip, so if I want to sit there and call them files, I should be able to call them files. And Tom's like, well, this is completely different. Like, you can't just call a guy a file. And I'm pretty sure you guys can get what I mean by the term file, right? Desperately trying to keep this video monetized. Have mercy on me, YouTube. Have mercy on me. While Tom's pointing out, just because this guy said that he didn't enjoy his time with you, all of a sudden now it's okay to go out and call him a file because he didn't enjoy his time with you. Thus, like, kind of reinforcing what I pointed out earlier in this video where Destiny has this approach that, well, if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it worse.
This is not the same thing, though. These are not equivalent lies.
Yeah, I think they are.
How is it the same thing for him to say, for Donut Operator to say, I never liked you, versus you saying, oh, he jerks off to porn?
For him to say that I showed up... Wait, let's find the exact tweets. Let's find the tweets. Find me the tweet. Link it.
Let me grab it.
Yeah, grab it. Of the different...
I got it.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Okay, so he says... I knew meeting you for the first time I wouldn't like you, weak little dweeb boy. Hell, the girl you were with showed more attention to my friends and I than you. You sure were happy to take advantage of our hospitality, shooting our ammo and guns, even though you'd want us dead. You just keep proving how much of a bitch you are. Now, at the time that we were there, I agree with your interpretation that I sensed literally no animosity between anyone. I thought everybody seemingly got along well.
I just remember another thing. Hold on. I hate this guy, okay? Not just because he's a file, okay? But, okay.
Stop saying that.
I knew meeting you for the first time I wouldn't like you, okay? This is the guy who brought his 13-year-old kid to the to breakfast, right?
Yeah, we all had breakfast together.
Okay.
Yes. You paid for breakfast, which I thought
I did. Thank you. Oh, you said it. I didn't have to say it. Yes. Okay. So that is true.
Why are you calling him a...
So the fact that he sat with me, the fact that I chatted with him and his son, we all had a really good time, okay? The idea that my girl showed more attention, so he's also making cuck jokes, okay? And then for him to say that I took advantage of their hospitality when I think I footed the bill for like a $400 or $500 breakfast? This guy. No, this is cringe. And people like this deserve to be shamed and humiliated and are cringe. this dude.
You know, I think the funny thing in all this is that Destiny's forgetting the only reason that Donut Operator even said any of this in the first place was because you said that people like him deserve to be shot. Like, I'm sorry. Destiny's portraying this like Donut Operator came out of left field and was just like, hey, you know what, man? I don't like you. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with saying people like Donut Operator and friends of Donut Operator that share the same beliefs deserve to take a bullet. And if they do, he's gonna laugh at them. I'm sure that had absolutely nothing to do with Donut Operator coming and saying this stuff to you. Destiny, you are a huge influential figure on the internet. And when you say things like that, there could be portions of your audience that may look at that as like a green light to go and start doing some political violence because you said it would be okay and it would be funny. Hell, I'm an edgelord. I like watching people die. Now, if Donut Operator came out of left field with this stuff, maybe I would see the point Destiny has here, but he didn't. Like, it's a direct response to some really controversial things that Destiny has said. And you'll hear Turkey Tom kind of like try to hint that to Destiny, which he just will push away and close his ears to all of it.
Him completely. Him. Every single part of him. Okay, this guy. No, there's such an unbelievably cum swallowing cuck position for this guy to be tweeting out like this because he wants to ride the jerk wave. This dude. Okay, actually.
But why do you need to call? Why do you need to call him?
It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing you've got.
Did he call you a?
He called me a. You know what? I take it back. I call him a super.
Do you not see why I would like maybe have a problem with this? Like, am I like being retarded here?
No, I understand why. You can have a problem with it, but I don't give a. I super don't give a. I hope it hurts his feelings. I hope they're in his YouTube comment sections. This guy. When you lie that much about things like actual real life things that happen to rewrite history, these guys and every single part of them. They have zero consideration from me. I will say whatever the fuck I want about him. I'll make up whatever the lie I want about him. If they're gonna make up lies about me, then I don't give a.
I mean, you can kind of tell Tom is like speechless. There's parts of this just for the sake of time I've shortened and cut out pauses, but there's huge pauses where Tom is clearly just like, what in the is going on? And people have been in Tom's ear being like, dude, you need to get away from Destiny. Like, he's going to end up torturing your career, to which Tom's trying to be a good friend and being like, no, you know what? I'm going to stay friends with Destiny. But then like stuff like this happens and you're just like, why, Tom? Like, the guy's offering you no charity. You explain to him why this may upset you, and he clearly has no interest in seeing your side of things. He could care less about your relationships with Donut Operator or how it'll affect your career because you know what? He got made fun of. So you know what? I need to do whatever I need to do and say the worst things I can to upset him back. I mean, this is like the person who people say is like the peak intellectual on the left side. And this is what he's pretty much resorted to is like 5-year-old schoolyard bully tactics.
1 billion%. Okay. If you don't like it and you want the behavior to change, then you should tell these people, hey, when you meet this dude, don't lie about him and make up a whole bunch of crazy. That's what you should say. Because you know what? When their behavior stops, then my behavior stops. Boom, easy. I'm contingent on them being spineless, lying, cowardly pieces of shit. There you go. Easy.
Are you not surprised by his response given the comments you made, which would essentially imply that, you know, he and Brandon, who are probably going to vote for Trump, I assume, it would imply that you wouldn't really feel bad if they died. Like, do you not see how maybe they would have taken offense to that after hanging out with you IRL?
What does that have to do with anything that he tweeted?
Well, gee, Destiny, let me think about it, okay? You guys sat down, had a nice breakfast, went out shooting guns, enjoyed each other's company, probably had some good back and forth conversation, just for a month later or however long it was, for you to say, gee, you know what? Every conservative is a piece of crap, and anybody who votes for Trump may or may not deserve a bullet. I wonder what it is that you could have said that may have upset it Donut Operator to the point where he might have been like, you know what? I never really liked your attitude, pal. And you know what? You're a cuck. So he took the low road. Yeah, should he have said all those things? Probably not. But when you wish death on people, you're probably not going to get the best response back from them. And the fact that Destiny can't wrap his head around this is incredibly alarming and kind of tells me just how out of touch he is. And this is coming from a guy who used to have a lot of respect for Destiny.
Well, what he tweeted was in response to you talking.
No, he didn't. What he tweeted was a bunch of lies because he couldn't handle the fact that we hung out and I'm a funny dude and we had a good time. He had to separate himself from me in the eyes of his fan base. Because if he wanted to, what you just said, there are tweets that he could have made that, in my opinion, would have been even more powerful to attack the messages that I'd said, right? Like, imagine retweeting and saying like, oh, hey, I'm really disappointed to hear this from Destiny. All of us hung out and we had a really good time. He hung out with us. We shot guns. I don't think he ever felt like his life was threatened in any size, shape, or form. I don't know if I'd feel safe shooting with him after saying he'd celebrate people like me being dead. The fact that he hung out with me and my 13-year-old son, and I could have been the father in that crowd that got shot and killed, and Destiny would be laughing at me, despite the fact that he hung out with all of us and had a good time, would have really bothered me. That would have been a statement that he could have made. It would have attacked the message of what I said. It would have illustrated that despite us hanging out and having a good time, I was being, in his eyes, a piece of shit. That would have been a perfectly fine tweet. But he couldn't do that because he doesn't have a spine, okay? Because he's leaked all of his cerebral spinal fluid out of his jerking it. Okay? This is Shadbase's #1 financial supporter. He could have made a tweet like that. I would have been okay with it 100%. Why does he have to lie about our interaction, though?
All right, so Destiny, you want a good faith response from him, but you aren't willing to give good faith responses yourself. He should have responded with maturity and told me, man, I'm really disappointed in him. Yet you've just went on Pierce Morgan, and anybody else who would listen on X, you basically said, no, you know what? They're going to go the low road. I'm going to go the low road. So you're establishing the rules here, pal. So you can't be shocked when they don't give you good faith responses when you're not giving good faith statements. You see how this may be coming off a bit hypocritical there, son?
Yeah, I mean,
like, you understand, like, none of what he's saying here is responding to anything that I've said, right? Like, he doesn't make an argument about anything.
I understand that, but do you not think that the thing that he's upset about is probably the fact that you're implying that him and a bunch of people that you hung out with, like, you wouldn't feel bad if they got shot in the head?
It's about damn time Turkey Tom finally spoke up and said it. I know Destiny is his friend and everything, but he's giving him a lot of leeway here and trying to be very, very kind in his approach instead of just wanting to be like, Destiny, do you not understand the grand scheme of this whole fucking thing and why it may piss some people off? Okay, even if you're not a conservative, I want you to sit there and think about something you love. Let's say you're a big Pokemon Go fan. I know you all downloaded it at one point because you thought it was going to be really fun. Don't even lie. I'm just using that as an example. And somebody out there was like, you know what? Pokemon Go players, they are so annoying. They always are wandering around looking to grab Pokemon. You know what? If they get hit by cars, I kind of hope it happens. Don't you think that that's kind of like a pretty terrible thing to say and may piss off some Pokemon Go players? Wow, I just got 300 tweets from Pokemon Go players saying that they don't appreciate what I had to say. Go figure. This isn't a really hard concept to understand, but yet Destiny's acting like he doesn't really grasp what Turkey Tom's trying to lay down to him.
Why doesn't he focus his tweet on that then? Wait. Okay, hold on. Firstly, do you understand that he's making up like every part of his tweet, right?
Let's go through it. Let's go through it one by one, okay?
Okay.
I knew meeting you the first time that I wouldn't like you. So my impression of us being there was that you guys got along pretty well.
Yeah.
That was my impression.
And he said, do you remember when they spent like 5 or 10 minutes crying about how like, oh, the last time a lefty came, they made like a hit piece documentary on us. I was like, oh yeah, like I would never do shit like that, right? Which is what they did to me, basically, right? That's he just did to me what he cried about other left-leaning people doing, right? Do you admit that?
Only after you said that him and everybody who believes in the things he believes in may or may not deserve a bullet, Destiny. What are you not understanding about this, dude?
Do you remember at lunch?
Same thing. What that guy did is that guy. What's his fucking name? What's his fucking?
I don't remember the name, but you remember the conversation, right? Where they were complaining that a guy went and hung out with them, and that they made like a hit piece, right?
Well, he visited them under false pretenses and then made a video about how like they were like crazy gun guys and retarded people, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. Is that the same thing as what he's doing here? I don't think so.
Is that yes? Wait, hold on. He said that they did him and I mix all three. I'm not Wendigoon, Brandon, and Donut Operator. I don't know if they all have the same facial hair or what, but in my mind it's hard to keep them separate. Maybe just because I didn't know them that well going in. But I remember them talking, and they said that there was a guy that came along. He pretended to have a really good time, and he shot a bunch of footage. But then when he got home and he put the video together, he reframed everything and made it a hit piece. Right? Is my summary of that accurate? Is what they were complaining about?
Essentially.
Yes.
And I agree. What he's saying here is like blowing smoke up your ass. It is not. You guys, from maybe I'm completely socially retarded. My understanding was that you guys all got along very well.
We did, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
We did, yep, we did, okay.
And,
so, but I'm just saying
you
that...
did buy them breakfast and they gave you the free ammo. Like it was kind of an equal exchange. And I thought everybody got along well.
Pretty sure I think the breakfast was more expensive, but that's okay, yeah.
But whatever the case, and I also will say, to give you credit, I remember at the time talking to those guys, and maybe they weren't being honest with me or something because I had brought you there, but they seemingly, everybody there had said like, yeah, Destiny was surprisingly cool for a libtard type thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the impression that I got.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. This tweet is not a good interpretation of events.
Yep.
And I do not sense any animosity there, and it's, if anything, not even not a good interpretation. It's false. It's false.
Cool.
False,
Thank you. Okay.
Look, I'm sure these guys probably had a great time when they went out shooting, and I think it was cool that Destiny decided to buy breakfast. However, Destiny keeps avoiding the part that is like the elephant in the room, and that's that you told Donut Operator, one of the people who are involved in this grand group of people that you said deserve a bullet. So I want to give an analogy. Say that you have somebody who you work with, whether at the office or whatever else you do, and that person makes you laugh every day. You think pretty good things of this person, but then one day they just say something like really cringe or something that's like racist or something that, just absolutely blows your mind. And then your opinion starts to change about that person. Just because you had good experiences with them before doesn't mean that that person person has the right to just all of a sudden now start sharing their racist rhetoric with you. Your opinion will change of that person. That's exactly what happened here. For Destiny to say this is some kind of hit piece the donut operator's doing after only responding to this and treating you this way because you said you wished him and everybody else that he loved should take a bullet for supporting Trump isn't really that hard of a concept to get. I don't know why like Tom is like being so kid gloves with Destiny. I mean, again, I know it's his friend, but like, dude, grow some cojones and confront your buddy here. I mean, that's what good friends do. They point out when someone's doing something wrong, and sometimes they got to be a little aggressive with it because clearly Destiny is not getting your point.
And it's in the same vein as what they complained about the lefty guy doing, that he hung out with them in real life, and then when he went back, he basically hit pieced them. Now, he's not making a full hit piece on me, but he's essentially reframing or recharacterizing everything that happened to try to give himself a favorable view and to shit on me in ways that are not true.
Okay. Is it justified for you to call them? Do you think that's a different level of thing? Couldn't you just call them out for this and be like, you're being a piece of shit, you're lying?
Well, here, let's go. Wait.
Yep. Even beyond that, maybe we could justify lying about them in some way. Okay, maybe you could make some justification for that because they did it in the first place. Can you justify calling them pedophiles?
Just to be clear, calling someone a file in the current environment of the internet is a major accusation to make. Now, Destiny's going to try and support that with what some may consider a weak argument. I mean, it's not nothing. It's not a nothing burger. Considering what we know about Ava Tyson, I mean, this evidence, I'd be ignorant to not at least say it's worth looking into. But again, like, he is making the accusation that he's a file before he has anything concrete, and that's just slander, in my opinion.
Let's find out. Let's keep going, okay? So the first thing is, okay, so he lied about our interactions. Second thing was he called me a weak little dweeb boy. Okay, sure, I'll give him that one. Although he didn't say any of that to me in person, but sure. The third one was, hell, the girl you were with showed more attention to my friends and I than you. What do you think this is?
I mean, my read of it is essentially that you... Hold on, where did he say that?
Look, Tom, we know a cuck joke when we see one, man. I really appreciate Tom trying so hard to defend his one friend against his other friend, but that's such a hard place to be in. You know, I couldn't imagine, like, being between two friends that hate each other so much right now and trying to be a representative for both of them to each other when they both hate each other. I mean, it's got to be a tough position. I don't envy Tom in this position at all.
How the girl you were with showed more attention to my friends and I than you. I mean, essentially that she was more polite than you were, and you just ignored them, is essentially what he's saying.
Oh, Tom, come on, man. That was a weak one. That was a weak excuse. But, I mean, he's trying to protect his friend. Like, let's be honest.
Wait, hold on.
Like a cuck thing?
It's absolutely a cuck joke. Yes.
I honestly, maybe, because he said weak dweeb little boy. Maybe.
Okay, so it's absolutely a cuck joke. Okay, number two. Then number three, okay, is you sure were happy to take advantage of our hospitality, shooting our ammo and guns, even though you'd want us dead. Okay, so I paid for breakfast, right? Which was at least $400 or $500. If you tell me the date, I can go look up the receipt. I don't even think I split it. I'm pretty sure I got the tab on my own, right? Right? So I didn't take advantage.
To be clear, yes, I agree completely. You didn't take advantage, and I mean, I probably have extra videos to that effect showing that everybody got along, right? Because we made a video together, and I thought it went well. Like, I agree. I just don't think it's justified to call them else, especially Brandon, who did he even comment on this?
I think he did somewhere else. He started throwing in tweets as well, which is why I started looping him in on this shit.
What did he do? I think I saw your interactions. He called you a right?
Oh, he might have before this, actually. Maybe? Does anybody remember? I think he was.
I saw some Twitter thread. You guys were arguing about the CNN stuff and media coverage, and I think he said you're busy hunting for cum or something like that, right?
Oh, it might have been something. Oh, yeah. Oh, because I was correcting out because he did another bullshit fake news YouTube video. Maybe he didn't have time to actually research the video in between all the jerking off does. But when he made that video, there was wrong stuff about it, and then I tweeted out that there was incorrect stuff, and then he just immediately hits up on the cut jokes. Yeah. Which I imagine the whole group probably does about me. Yeah.
Okay. And like that's a totally fair criticism, and I came to the same conclusion that you did when I started seeing the media coverage of it. So like we're on the same page. I just don't think it's justified to call them.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Well, that's fine.
But your justification for it is like,
if they're just gonna make up a bunch of random wild shit about me, I guess I'll just make up random wild shit about them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Destiny's not even trying to hide the fact at all that he's just making up this file allegation just to get under their skin because he doesn't like being called a cuck, which could be taken pretty slanderously if it were brought to a legal setting. I will admit, though, there is a piece of evidence that Destiny shows here that kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. I'm not willing to go out as far as to say that Donut Operator is a file or anything like that, and it has to deal with Shadman. And the only reason why I'm even scratching my head is because since the Ava Tyson stuff came out, we know what Shadman produced. And just for those who may not be familiar, Shadman was a guy who created Lolly, which is a form of cartoonish animated CP. Pretty nasty stuff, if you ask me. Like, pretty gross stuff. So now you're all caught up. I don't leave you guys in the dark about nothing on this channel. You will know it all.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's mostly what I had to say, but I don't know, I guess didn't like how that went, but I don't know. If you're not gonna back down, what else am I supposed to say? I see some people in chat saying,
you know what we've just figured out? Holy retroactively, I can justify my position. Look at that. Unbelievable. Did that image go through?
Let's see here. I'm responding to Shadman.
Disgusting. Donut operator. Doesn't he have a 13-year-old child? In 2023. Another one for my collection. Thanks as always, Shadman. Oh my God.
So I'm not exactly sure what Destiny's looking at here, but it sounds like it's a reply from Donut Operator saying thank you for the Shadman art, and another one for my collection, which if it is, then I think at least it warrants a response from Donut Operator to explain why he has Shadman art. I mean, if we know anything about Shadman and the Ava Tyson stuff, then we know that there could be some really sus pictures in there. Like, I want to give Donut Operator the benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, if it's true and Destiny's not just making this shit up, which I don't know if he would, although he's kind of been unhinged lately. I mean, it's something worth, like, at least acknowledging. If we're going to be 100% fair here, we need to acknowledge that kind of stuff.
The actual operator. Before it was just defamation, and now it's now it's true. Oh, no. Anyway, these guys. But I am so tired of people rewriting real-life interactions with people when I am, like, the most and you can tell me, by the way, if you disagree or if you want to burn me or anything else in real life, I think I'm one of the most polite motherfuckers in real life. The only thing I can do that might be impolite is sometimes I'll be on my phone or I'll be looking at other shit. But in terms of, like, I'm always friendly. I don't, like, make fun or shit on people. Like, I always try to make sure that people around me have a good time. Like, I think I'm generally very, very polite, very friendly, generally pretty respectful. I don't make jokes. I don't think that, like, are too far with people. And every time something happens, all these guys want to jump on the jerk wave and they rewrite history with me. And it drives me crazy. And there are so many people that do this, and I hate it. It irritates the fuck. I'd rather have them call me a
why would you even call him a pedo for the lolly thing when you said you don't care about lolly stuff?
Because I just do it because I know it bothers these people.
So there's Destiny just basically saying, I'm only doing this just to piss them off. So that is, if that's not admittance to slander, I don't know what is. I mean, Destiny's clearly gone completely unhinged. I don't know if he's really trying to embrace, like, this edginess to try to get ahead of Hassan, or he's just desperately trying to gain more subscribers, because I think he lost a ton after the Trump thing, so he's doubled down trying to get, like, the most toxic audience he can. Usually on the internet, when you make stuff up about people, that's usually considered bad. I don't know about you, but that, in my opinion, that's usually something that is considered not very on the up and up. But hell, I'm Destiny. What do I care? All conservatives must burn.
I'm sorry, what?
I just do it because I know it bothers these people.
Okay, so you don't actually think he's out anyway.
No, he's probably not. I don't know if anyone will.
I mean, I guess that's the closest admittance we're going to get of Destiny saying, no, I don't think Donut Operator is a file. And I guess that's the one W Tom gets in this whole entire conversation.
But maybe they are, who knows?
Destiny. Okay, I see people in chat saying I'm tone policing. I have no care for the tone. I don't care about that. And also, it's not my aversion to edgy jokes. I think you can make edgy jokes. I'm totally fine with Destiny's, Courtney tweets or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. It's more, I take issue with calling another large content creator a from what I saw unjustly. So
look, Tom's been in the community longer than almost anybody. I think he's been doing his channel for like 12 years now. Tom knows YouTube inside and out. Calling someone a file without any credibility behind it is a huge issue, especially considering all the stuff going on with Dr. Disrespect, Cody Ko, Ava Tyson. Like, this is not the time to be making that kind of joke.
Okay, that's fair. You should make them stop lying about me, okay?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's in my power to control all of them, so I'll try my best to do that. Okay. All right, well, yeah, I guess I'll see you on whatever the other thing we're doing today is. All right.
I love you. Be careful, babe, okay?
Easy, and f*** you, bye.
Now, it's hard to imagine that Tom's feeling pretty confident leaving this conversation, considering that Destiny just straight up ignored every request he had. I don't know whether or not Donut Operator and Brendan Herrera will change their tone, especially considering that Destiny hasn't really backtracked too much about the whole killing conservatives thing. So I wouldn't see why they would want to randomly all of a sudden play nice with Destiny. I mean, Destiny, when you say half of the people in the United States deserve a bullet, I mean, you're going to get backlash for that because, hell, it's half of the freaking United States. And the one thing that conservative people believe in is their traditions and their morals. So when you attack that, they take that incredibly personal. And I don't think that you're justified in calling them what you've been calling them. And I think that everybody needs to just chill the hell out. First off, Destiny needs to issue an apology for what he said. I don't think he ever will because, hell, it's Destiny. But I really do think that Turkey Tom needs to consider his relationship with Destiny moving forward, because if Destiny continues down this heel path where he's just kind of like trolling everybody who's a conservative, that's going to put Tom in a weird position with his conservative friends. Donut Operator is a much, much bigger creator than Destiny is. And believe it or not, networking in YouTube is incredibly important. It's what keeps you relevant. If you get into those circles of people, it can help keep your career boosted and keep you in the trend and keep you in the algorithm. Tom being in this position is just, you know, kind of sucks for him, to be honest with you. But again, he's only in this position because of what Destiny said, Mr. Edgelord himself. So, you know, take it for what it is. Let me know in the comments what your opinion on this whole situation is. Is Destiny in the wrong? Is Donut Operator in the wrong? Do you think he's a file? Do you think Turkey Tom needs to separate from Destiny? So much to talk about. What a wild story this whole thing has been. But I think Destiny has definitely lost his mind a little bit, if I'm being completely honest here. As a guy who once looked up to Destiny as like an influence, I gotta say I don't find him influential at all anymore. And if anything, he's like a good example of what not to do with your career on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying I have any kind of major success on YouTube. Luckily, I feel like I'm growing nicely, but I can never see myself in a situation wishing death or laughing about the death of anybody. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, guys, that's this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this story and you want to see more from me, click this video right here.